What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Thomas Dolby, and we're going back to the 1982 album Golden Age of Wireless, and we're up to the tune Weightless. It's interesting, I was thinking about it just as I was going to begin the video, and I was thinking, my first thought is to think of an astronaut literally being weightless because you are in orbit around the Earth rather than being, more directly pulled and held by the gravity. Nevertheless, it did occur to me that being weightless also means you're unmoored, you're not anchored into a particular place. Now that can have more positive connotations, the idea of being free to capriciously go in whatever direction the winds are blowing. Obviously all these things, whether it comes to the actual quality of being weightless or being susceptible to the winds of change, that could be more literal or figurative, but again, the idea of not having control over yourself and the direction in which you're heading your motion, whether that's literally kinetic or conceptual, I feel like that's a possibility with the idea of being weightless, and that would be, if not overtly negative, at the very least risky or dangerous, or the possibility of peril and harm. Because simply, if you don't have control over your own direction, whether that's, physically or in terms of your life, other people or other forces may very well make decisions that you don't want, or at least the consequences of which you do not want. So it's an interesting concept, the idea of being weightless. Again, I think it could be more positive or negative, or it could be maybe not even so much about yourself, but the idea of some experience feeling like it has less weight or mass than it should, but again, if I were to guess, I would think it's probably more centered on oneself, whatever that may mean in the context. So let's find out. This is Thomas Dolby, Weightless, from the 1982 album Golden Age of Wireless. Metallic metronome. Big, weighty, dramatic. Feels grounded more than weightless. But perhaps.
Some nights he's weightless, he has to travel. His mouth is gravel, and there's an empty feeling within his heart. Eye on the fuel gauge, Westchester Thruway, that triple octane.
That was highly specific.
Empty feeling in Darby's heart.
Little elements here.
Same old insecurity, struggling into his car seat, and a song started naked all over New Jersey. Gas stations everywhere, not one drop to fill me. Fill me. Fill me. Fill me. Big hunk of carrot cake, blueberry milkshake, fistful of cold dress, one fix the empty feeling
These lyrics are crazy.
in Lizzie's heart. So she flick on the TV, taking a movie, but all those memories wanna raise the empty feeling.
Empty feeling, the idea of being hollowed out and therefore perhaps weightless due to having no substance.
Then a dog walked inside her head to watch the explosion, and a pipe started leaking.
But fill, as in fill the emptiness. Oh.
She whispered. Listen.
I was like, don't be over, please.
Your body weightless in condensation. My heart learned to swim, and the feeling was gone again.
I don't even know what to say, which doesn't happen often. Occasionally with Kate Bush it's happened. I think once with two cellos. Nevertheless, I mean, that's just insane. Like, on one level, it feels like the song is being a bit cheeky, a bit funny, a bit hyper-specific. It almost feels like it's describing a movie I haven't seen, you know, with specific parts that, you know, people who've seen the film will know. But yeah, and then there was a moment where I was thinking, is it making a comment about, like, you know, that, like, it was talking about gas stations, and it was like, okay, so are we talking about, you know, what year was the Valdez, like, oil spill? But then it was like, no, it feels like we're in New Jersey, and, you know, it's definitely doing something else. So narratively, I'm not quite sure what's going on, but it's fascinating because despite feeling a bit crazy in that way, sonically there were moments, especially a couple near the end, where the pads get sort of lush and the synth bass really hits and resonates, and it feels super dramatic and emotional. And again, the intro was a bit emotional and dramatic as well, and weighted, as I think I said. So really interesting sonics for the tune. And once again, it felt like it was sort of dancing on the border between a more serious song and a song that was a bit more fun and maybe cheeky. So yeah, really interesting vibe, really great sonics, the blending of all the different elements, little piano runs, and the, again, synth bass, and the vocal work was fantastic too. So really interesting track. Again, don't know this guy's work much at all, so now, what, 4 tracks in? I think this is maybe the 4th reaction I've done. Obviously there will be a learning process and a, you know, understanding of, you know, different tunes, because I'm sure, like all artists, there's tracks that he's made that are in different styles. Indeed, you know, that track was very different from the first one I listened to, which was the, what was it, heavy breather subversion version of, what was it? I'm forgetting the name now. I can't even remember the name. Was it electronic? No, that wasn't right. That's not right. I can't even remember the name in the moment. But ultimately, yeah, it felt like that track was quite different from this one, but really interesting artist from what it seems like, sort of carving his own path. So yeah, oh, Hyperactive, that's what it was called, Hyperactive. I'm sure there was people getting ready to comment, it's Hyperactive, bro. Which again, I get it, like, you know, if you feel someone maybe missing a key detail or whatever, I get it. But yeah, sometimes I get angry at myself because I know, like, if I misspeak, it's like, oh, there's gonna be like 10 people who are gonna remind me about this. But yeah, ultimately that was a cool tune, and I'm looking forward to more of the catalog. I believe there's more than just this album in the larger umbrella folder. Once again, shout out to Han Solo, enabler of many different deep dives on the channel. So yeah, let me know what you think of this one. I will see you next time. Peace.